People who don't want to work, why? I don't work in a field I care about, and the field I care about doesn't pay well enough. Workplace politics are annoying and I don't like potlucks. I want to work, but I only want work to be a small part of a very colorful and varied life. Instead, it's required to work 40 to 60 hours a week just to make ends meet, and at the end of it, have no energy left to enjoy what little time you have outside of work. I want to work. In my garden. On my home. With my family. On crafts. But I don't want to work. I want to do things I enjoy. Work takes me away from that. Edit, I have a ducking job, people. Just because I don't want to work doesn't mean I don't work. I don't have much choice if I don't want to be walking, homeless, and hungry. Doing things I enjoy for money eventually strips away all the joy. I run a small Etsy shop where I make little crafts. It's fun and relaxing, and I enjoy working with my hands to make something that someone else will enjoy. Recently something happened that made me go slightly viral, and I had about 500 orders in a week. I now despise looking at my ducking crafting materials. I want to throw it all in the trash after doing nothing but crafting for 10 hours a day to fulfill all these orders. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life is a bullshit lie. Doing anything for money eventually turns it into a passionless slog. Agreed. It's not fun if you have to do it. Some friends at work make Adirondack chairs in their free time. They've done the math and the two of them could quit and make chairs full time. They also have the demand, so it would be fairly easy. One of them has basically a professional woodworking shop in his entire 2-car garage that would hand the output. But they realize that they just enjoy making them at their own pace, while drinking beers and chatting. If they had to do it 40 to 50 hours a week, they'd hate it after half a year. Lasting a year is probably optimistic. I wouldn't be surprised if they were sick of it after 3 months. I made a side hustle out of baseball cards in 2018. It was fun getting stuff graded. I'd take my time and evaluate cards myself, send them to a grading service and list them on eBay. During 2020 the whole sports card world caught fire and things got crazy expensive and demand was at an all-time high. Grading services are now astronomically expensive and take forever to get back. People get mad when the card they just bought that they don't even care about drops in value. Like it's my fault. I never treated it as anything more than a hobby with a tiny bit of income, but even that gets tiresome in the wrong environment. It was fun when it was just enthusiasts and not speculators. Just dealing with people in general I find ducking exhausting. I literally have no problem with getting up. Working my actual job. Working 5 days a week. The number one reason I don't want to work is dealing with coworkers, and when I worked in the service industry and retail dealing with customers. It's a goddamn nightmare. Teresa, shit ton of awful PPL out there. Edit, everyone with their shitty comments are just proving my point. Thanks. The loss of a personal life, control of your own time. The stress demand now of being available 247 to your job. Working to afford what you want but never having time to enjoy it, or being guilted by your job for trying to take a day off to enjoy. Even if you're paid 9 to 5, you know more than that is dedicated to work, getting ready, commuting, decompressing, messages from work after 5 or on weekends, thinking about or prepping for the next day, so on. The reward for the work put in isn't there anymore. We're tired, undervalued, and way overworked without much of an upside other than a roof, some probably unhealthy quick food. Edit, thanks for my first ever award. There is nothing that I love enough to want to spend 40 plus hours a week doing it. At least nothing that pays. Spending 80% of my life at a desk was awful. I found I was spending more time at work than with my husband. We struggled to make ends meet, I wasn't happy. So we shifted, sold the house, quit our careers and bought a trailer, and now travel and work only fun jobs for part of the year, camp host, tour guide, help at fun events. We have money in the bank, tons of options, zero debt, and I've realized that our weird life is so much better. I would rather not work at all, but we need to eat, and need fuel. There are so many other things to do and try other than work. Work takes up too much of your time, your 2 days off get used doing laundry and groceries for the next week. It's not a life, you are living to work. I decided to try something different and I'm so glad we did. Your 2 days off are used for laundry and groceries. If this isn't the truest thing I've read all day. Hustle culture is the biggest scam I've ever seen. Legit, I worked hard AF to find my dream job, like all those work shows like The Office or PR Set exists. Turns out you can both be in your dream job and hate working at it at the same time. It's honestly kind of filled me with dread that this is what my life is going to be, and as much as I try to find another work dream that I might like more, everything else seems even worse. Edit. For those confused, I'm talking about the endings of both shows that depict everyone finding their calling at their dream job in the final episodes. I'm a game programmer at a major developer. It's amazing how much I hate game programming between the hours of 9 to 5 and how much I love it between 6 to 12. Honestly, this is why so many game developers go into general software work after a few years. It's not that I don't want to work. I want to work less. Like max 30 to 32 hours and be compensated well enough where I can put my bills on autopay. Work isn't the issue, it's how much we have to work to live, and I make well above minimum wage, but it is still a struggle to make ends meet. My company changed to a 32 hours week without cutting pay or benefits. Pretty much the best thing that ever happened. What company is that and what do you do? Not saying the company name, but I do software QA for a startup. I too was on QA for software, and my project I worked for switched to 4 days a week. It was fantastic. But then it switched back to 5 days due to the workload becoming too much lol. And have a feeling that will happen at some point as the company scales, but I'm savoring it for now. I don't want to work. I want to read. I want to watch the TV shows and movies I enjoy. I want to ride my bike. I want to be able to cook meals and try new recipes. I want to go visit friends who don't live within walking distance. I want to play video games. I want to provide my pets with the food and healthcare they need. I want to be able to take care of myself and get the healthcare I need. I want to build things and tinker with cars and build fish ponds. Unfortunately, all of those things take money, and since I was neither lucky enough to be born with a silver spoon up my ass or won the lottery, I have to work to do them. Not only do we have to work to do those things, they make up a very small, tiny portion of our lives away from the hours and hours at work dreaming about what your life could be. That's why they made up the lotto, everyone in mundane jobs or jobs they hate, full of dreams winning the lottery and what they would do with millions, giving them all hope and dreams. I play the lotto every occasional Friday, just $5. But every other month or so, I'll drive past the lotto billboard the day after I played, and see that somebody hit the jackpot. For the rest of that day I won't check my numbers. I'll daydream and pretend it was me who won. I think of all my friends and family that I'll be able to help, and how I'll finally be able to afford and have the time to take classes and develop skills in things I've always been interested in perusing, but was afraid I'd never be proficient at. Finally Sunday comes, and of course it wasn't my numbers that were drawn, but for that one day that sprinkled me with hope and the curious excitement that only a kid feels on Christmas Eve, it was worth it. Things I hate: 1. Having to wake up early. 2. Having to be somewhere I don't want to be. 3. Having to be around people I don't like. 4. Being away from home and my dog. 5. Using up all my energy and having none left for the things I enjoy. 6. Having to be polite to people who don't reciprocate the respect. 7. Not being able to freely eat or use the bathroom whenever I want need. 8. Having to wear clothes I don't like. 9. Long commutes #X200B, things required in most jobs. 1. See above. If I could do a job that was much less stressful, simple, and enjoyable, I would. But to just survive this world, you got to make a lot more than minimum wage. I think most people want to be valid and useful members of their societies. What they don't want is to be ground down to nothing for their whole life. The people aren't the problem. I want to work collectively towards a beautiful vision for the future, not work for my survival, like a rat digging through trash, or work to satisfy other people's fickle desires, all of which won't provide them with lasting fulfillment joy. Does anyone really want to work? We do it 'cause we have to.